This is your March 2023 soul story. If you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, this is your reading for the month ahead. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. It's Romy here as we explore this cosmic conversation for the month ahead. Now we're opening up with the energy of the High Priestess, and as we illuminate your 9th house through Pisces season, there is this expansion taking place. Everything that you have come to believe is being almost like systematically shattered, one truth after another. And you owe it to yourself to really go deep within and trust more than you ever have before in the way that your life is unfolding right now. This means you have to expand what you think is possible and really pay attention to where the universe is instructing you that you still have more to learn. You know, we can always be both the student and the master at the same time. March is feeling like a clean slate, and you know, there's something about the initiation that you're feeling in this first part of the month that's incredibly powerful. Now we've got Venus conjunct Jupiter in the first couple of days, so there's this lovely boost, this cosmic boost that's helping you to feel ready for this beginning, ready for this new astrological year to be upon you. And you know, as we have a dominance of cardinal fire energy in Aries all through the month, even in Pisces season, you know, there's something about your legacy, the way that you're meant to be showing up in the world, what you're thinking in relation to your purpose and your career and what that next step is. And truly, Cancer, you know, the only safe thing for you to do this month is to take a chance. You are going to develop the courage that you need for the next chapter by doing courageous things. And, you know, it's really about being able to not continuously fight with your past, but remember what it means to come back into balance and coherence with what you think, what you feel, and ultimately what you do. You know, the kind of pathway to peace, if you like, is found through this month in the trust that you are putting in what you know your intuition is telling you is the next step. Now we've got a Virgo full moon coming in on the 7th of the month. It's the same day Saturn shifts sign into Pisces. And so there's this requirement for us to now be all in with a new kind of a conversation, one that doesn't ask us to sacrifice so much that our nervous systems can't cope, but rather to be all in the medicine of the moment, whatever wants to come to us. And you've got Page of Cups along with the High Priestess, so I know that your intuition is absolutely on point for you through the course of March. It's going to feel incredibly psychic in terms of the downloads that you're going to be receiving. But let's talk about this Virgo full moon, because remember, Virgo is the sign, the caretaker, the steward, and brings that beautiful healing earth medicine. And in your 3rd house, this is really about what you think, the language that you use, what you say, and I think more importantly for you this month, what is left unsaid. Because I have a feeling that that's where some of the healing is taking place. That's where you're meant to be focusing some of your attention in terms of supporting this expansion. Like, what's the elephant in the room? And how can you notice the ways in which you may be taking things personally in terms of conversations or interactions that you're having? There's a huge amount of vulnerability that shows up in March alongside this deeply empowered life force activation. So it's a really interesting contrast that we're feeling. That will certainly be felt as you come out of the full moon and approach this Jupiter Chiron conversation taking place around the 11th, 12th of the month. And so even if you feel uncomfortable in a certain situation around that time, you owe it to yourself just to be upfront and ask the question. If you don't know how they feel, if you don't know what they're thinking, it's going to be easier to just simply face it. And even if there's some fear around what might ensue from that, it's going to set you free. There's a tremendous sense of feeling liberated because of just being brave enough to actually just take control of the situation. Yeah. Remember, this month, because we're really talking about perspective and you have a lot of this spiritual energy in the ninth house around your higher learning, the quotes that talk about my perception of you is a reflection of me, and also that beautiful Rumi quote that says the beauty you see in me is a reflection of you. Like, I think these are really important mantras, affirmations, statements to kind of sit with and consider as you come up against different situations this month. Now, the Knight of Wands comes charging in here. It's a little bit almost ruckus in comparison to the quietness, the solitude, and the sort of stillness, I think, that's coming in with High Priestess and Page of Cups. So someone coming in to sort of ruffle your feathers or unsettle you a little bit, but that doesn't feel negative because it has quite an adventurous, exhilarating feel. In fact, I would go as far as to say I think Cancer this month, something might end up happening much sooner than you'd anticipated, or you're being asked to act or to show up in a way that you weren't quite prepared for, or maybe you were, but you still thought you had a little bit more time. So as Mars, of course, this month is going to be shifting into your sign from the 25th, there's something about the motivation that you feel, the passion that's ignited, feeling more authentic to you. And that's really helping you because you've cleared space with Mars through Gemini in knowing, I think, more acutely what you don't want. And so now it's a time to really harness and be able to work with the gifts that you've been given. And that's what we're here for, yeah, to figure out what those gifts to the world are. And you're going to have signs scattered all over the place through this month of March to help support you in that endeavor. Now, my Sacred Soul support this month in the light is talking about becoming more authentically you. And in the shadow, we look at dissolving disappointments and really understanding where the energy of those disappointments coming from, whether it's ego-based or soul-led. And so these are tools that can support you over and above the soul stories. Also this month, I've just launched the pre-orders for my new book, Moon Musings. So if you do follow me on socials and you enjoy the astrological and soul insights that I share, all of it brought together in one book, 88 Musings, and you can check that out in the comment and description box for links. Okay, so we have the Princess of Swords. Now there's a plethora of messages showing up for you this month, I think as much spiritual as in the physical, but a really important conversation taking place that I think is helping you to almost like understand a concept more than you ever have before. You might have heard it, 500 times, and then all of a sudden in March it's like, oh, I get this. I know what this means for me personally. And I think that's really important because it has a direct connection to prosperity. It has a connection to you feeling more comfortable to be able to articulate and communicate your needs, your wants, maybe even aligning with your hopes and dreams in a way that really serve you at this time. So really significant. And whether that conversation comes with a guide, with your higher self, with somebody who, is really understanding you. And I think there's something important. There's almost like I feel you on a quest this month to really be seeking out the company of those who do understand you. You're looking for someone that has that same field of resonance that you do. And it makes such a difference in terms of you feeling like you're on the right track. Now, we've got Juno, asteroid goddess, shifting into Taurus on the 11th, and then Venus making her way into the sign on the 16th. Of course, she loves to be here. So from the energy around our romantic relationships, in terms of our money consciousness, again, we're working with a more harmonious experience. What I will say though is that this is a month that is so powerful because of the planetary shifts, with both Saturn and Pisces coming through, and then we have Pluto moving into Aquarius on the 23rd, Mars of course in Cancer on the 25th. So, as you consider this life of substance that you're trying to create for yourself, and of course equinox, not forgetting on the 20th, you are going to be invited to kind of almost be at peace with feeling a bit disrupted before you find your sea legs again, okay? Because there's something that you're meant to realize, and there might be a bit of a pattern interruption that comes through when that happens. Now you've got the Knight of Cups coming in. Remember, the Knights are here as powerful messengers of change, and what we have coming through here is an offer. It may feel like it's not quite as grounded or tangible or as formed as you would hope or expect at this exact moment. And so perhaps there's more work to do. And that work is not just in terms of the showing up on a practical level to engage, discuss, negotiate, and kind of feed into that process, but it's also to really consider within the self, where am I still limiting or holding myself back? Because there's definitely this invitation this month for you to have to expand on what you think is possible. So if you're feeling like that can't work, or it has to show up like this or in this way, or this person has to look like that, or whatever it is that you are creating in your mindset that's trying to put sanctions or restrictions on how something needs to show up, you're just trying to control or force the unfolding of a situation, and that doesn't really feel like it's serving you. So Mercury shifts into Aries on the 18th, and then we welcome the Sun in Aries, equinox on the 20th, the new moon on the 21st. And so, this powerful fire energy lighting up that 10th house for you. Queen of Cups coming in, love this. You have such a deeply receptive... you're really listening this month, Cancer. I think this is going to serve you incredibly well. Sometimes, it's not about having to be the loudest voice in the room. It's about reading the energy and really listening to what people are saying or to what you're tuning into. And that's where all the answers are. Now, what's really nice here is that I think there's an offer coming your way, but there's a counter offer. Yeah. So, and I think you're feeling empowered enough and aligned enough and trusting enough. That's why it's so important from an intuitive perspective through the month of March that you really pay attention to where you're being guided. So this counter offer, or how you're meeting this moment, remember, like I said, we're all in, but not from a place of having to sacrifice who you are. Now, you're showing up as your natural self with the Queen of Cups, and that's really important. So there's something authentic that's been shown to you about how you're meant to be feeling into this next season in your life. And that's really powerful. And I think you're not prepared to compromise on that front. However, that said, I feel that there's quite a dreamy sort of vision quest, like creative, rich opportunity to consider what this could look like moving forward. You have all of, like, what I want to say, like the raw ingredients here for something exceptionally beautiful and powerful to start to come together. What's missing a little bit for me here is some of that earth energy to kind of root it and ground it in and bring some sense of tangible, real feelings. But sometimes, we have to sort of do the energy work to pre-pave that to come in. And certainly, the combination of water and fire coming through is not only aligning you more spiritually, but also making you feel really clear about what you do have the desire and the passion towards and how that matters. I think the conversations feel more easy and fluid and sensitive and a little bit more empathic and understanding, compassionate than they have been of late. So if you've had some challenging experiences recently with people in your life, there's an opportunity through March for that to sort of open up a little bit. But again, remember, everyone will be feeling the disruption of all of these planetary movements. And so, you also have to kind of return, as I said, to this not taking things too personally, like realizing the perception that you have and what you're seeing coming through in people's behavior, and then noticing where there might be some wound energy for you to address within yourself. This is not about you fighting the past. This is about a reclamation of deciding that you want to act from this place of integrity and pre-pave the future, knowing that you have everything that you need within you right now. Those imprints are already contained within the cells within you. And so as we look at the vulnerability, but also this sort of sacred empowerment, the time of equinox on the 20th is so beautiful for you. And I think anything that you can do by way of ritual, by way of affirmation, to really support what you are clearing and releasing, to help develop this courage. And remember, if the only safe thing is to take a chance, that's why your Knight of Wands has shown up. So the timing is perfect. Yeah? That's what I'm going to say to you. The timing for you this month is perfect. Now pay attention, on the 27th, 28th, Mercury and Jupiter will also align. So that means, again, the conversations that need to happen, ideas that need to be sort of discussed or highlighted are also going to have like extra positive energy. So it's almost like we come into the month and we leave the month with an opportunity to kind of come full circle and also to realize like how the potential of something is going to start to unfold in a way that's going to serve us for the next chapter. All right. Now, if you're new to the channel, the final 3 cards we will cover off in the extended version of our reading. I talk for another 25-30 minutes or so, just to give you deeper insights and see what else wants to be explored for March. I'm going to go ahead and just clarify the main reading now, Cancer, see where that wants to take us. Just starting with the energy of the High Priestess. We have another Page of Swords coming through. Might be an air sign specifically important, Gemini, Aquarius, Libra. All the decks that I use, just a reminder, are also listed below. We have the Hierophant coming in, very Taurus energy, talking to me about commitments, signing up to things as well. There might be some agreements. Remember, Juno and Taurus going to be very supportive for that taking place. But with that Chiron, Jupiter aspect around the same time, what you might feel mid-month is a little extra vulnerability or a little worry or concern that, you know, is activating something deeper within you. Okay, 3 of Cups, Page of Wands, Hanged Man. That's not a bad thing, actually, to kind of maybe slow down a little bit of the impulsiveness of that Knight of Wands, because I feel like perhaps you're on like a different vibe. We've got the Chariot coming through, of course, linking into your sign. Okay, we have the energy of the Tower and the Queen of Coins. I think there's a bit of a surprise. You know, we're approaching eclipse season, of course. Something a little bit unexpected to deal with, but this is why you have to really expand your mind at the moment, you know, because if there was like only one way that you saw this going, or only one thing that you thought needed to happen, and that changes or shifts and you end up feeling like you're left high and dry, that's not really supposed to be where it is. Remember, the Tower is always about knocking something down or clearing an energy that isn't serving or that isn't sustainable. And I really want to say that word to you, like sustainable. It's not sustainable. So pay attention to where that phrase, you might find yourself saying that yourself, or, you know, it's just coming through in terms of the experience of when that might show up. Okay, let's have a look at Life Soul Vision, which is my Oracle deck. Again, you can check that out over on my website, links below. We have Third Eye. Incredible activation spiritually, soul star energy. You're really in a beautiful space this month for this. Spirit Lion, the Sun, Equinox right in the middle of your reading, beautiful. New Moon. Of course, the new moon is coming in on the 21st. Something significant around that equinox, new moon, 20th, 21st. Pay attention to that. Might be a real power time in the month for you. I think where a big realization lands as well. Kind of one of those, well, I can't go back on this, or I can't unknow this. So see how that makes a change to your whole attitude or outlook on something. Energy oracles here. Okay, we have Broken Heart. We will cover that off in the extended version and get to the bottom of where that is coming through. Finally, I'm going to invite you to think about a personal question that might not have come up so far in what we've discussed. And again, we'll explore that a little bit more in the extended Cancer. Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you. I'm going to send you beautiful, bright blessings for this month of March. I hope you'll join me for the extended, and I will see you again next time. You take good care.